Hey AP Lang Gang. So I have gotten a lot of questions about how to set up the MLA format for your Word document. The video that is in Canvas right now is an example of how to set up MLA format if you're working in the desktop app for Word. However, most of you are probably working in the online app and it functions differently. So I'm going to show you now how to format your paper if you're using the online version. So first of all, you're going to go into Class Link and you're going to open up your Microsoft Office suite and you're going to open up the Word. Now, anytime you go in this way, you're working in the online version of any of these apps, and they often do work very differently. So we're going to open Word. Also notice that you have over here, it says MLA style paper. Do not use that because it does not have the most current MLA guidelines. And those change actually quite frequently. And so this does not have the right formatting for the works cited part of your paper. So we want to open up a new document. We're going to make our own template. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come up here and you're going to change the title to MLA format template. Okay. If you want to follow that other version, you can open a desktop app of Word right here in the online version. So if you do that, you can use the other video and you're just fine. But if you're going to use the Word online, you might want to keep watching. So first thing you want to know is that your margins are already default set to 1-inch margins, so you don't have to do anything special for that. We do want to go ahead and set your line spacing to double spacing, so we're going to do that there on the far right. Open up those 3 dots, open up line spacing, and then come on down to the 2 and click that. And that means your whole paper will be double spaced and you don't have to worry about hitting the space bar twice or anything like that, because oftentimes it gets messed up anyways when you do that. So it's best to set it from the very beginning. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the header. Okay, so again, setting the header is one major thing that's different than the desktop version. So you've got this little tab that sticks out here, and that's how you open your header to format it. You also have to set the font in your header separately of setting the font in your paper. So you have to do this twice. So I'm changing it to Times New Roman, 12-point font for my header. I'm going to put in my last name, and then I want Word to automatically page number my document for me so that I don't have to keep putting 1 or 2 or 3 at the top of my paper. So I'm going to come over here and choose Insert, Page Numbers, and I want to choose this one on the far right, and it's going to make this funky little thing right after my name. You just leave that the way it is, because that's the coding that's built into the program that tells it to add the page numbers. And you'll see the little message if you hover over it, will add page numbers here. So it'll do that automatically. And when you click off of your paper, off the header, it kind of automatically closes, but it remains out because once you've formatted your header, it'll stay there. And that's kind of how you know like you've done that job, because it's there like that. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and type our heading. So we want to make sure that we're in the right font. So before we even begin, we're going to select Times New Roman, 12-point font for our paper. If we do that at the very beginning, our whole paper will be set. We don't have to go back and highlight and change or anything like that, because sometimes things get messed up when you have to do that. Okay, so you're going to start with your name here, and then you want your professor's name. I actually just put Mrs. Baker. Don't put my first name. And then you're going to put your course, and do not put your class period number. It doesn't go there. And then you're going to put the date, and it has to be formatted in this way. Don't put September 6th, 2020. Put 6 the month, then the year. Okay, and you're going to hit enter. So notice how every time I hit enter, it's already double spaced. Now I need to do my title next, so I need to go ahead and come up here and make sure my title is going to be centered. Do not change the font. Don't make your title any larger or smaller or bolded or any kind of cutesy font. It has to be the same. And make sure that when you type your paper that you're using proper. You're going to put your title in proper title case. That means make sure you capitalize it correctly for a title. I'm going to hit enter. Now notice I'm still in the center. You need to make sure that you go back up here and change your alignment to go all the way to the left, because people sometimes just start typing and don't realize they're typing their entire paper as a centered, and that's going to mess. That's not the right format. It's going to mess it all up. Now, before we begin typing our paragraphs, you need to set your indenting. So this happens automatically for you. Again, it's not something that you'll have to think about every time you start a new paragraph. So we're going to go back over here to these little three dots on the far right. It says more options, and it says special indent. So you have three options: none, first line indent, and hanging indent. So for the body of your paper, you want first line indent. And that means it's going to bump it over a little bit, and you can type your paragraph, whatever. And when you get to the next line, it's just going to go ahead and hit all the way over to the next, to the left-hand margin, okay? And then when I stop my paragraph and I start a new one, it's going to automatically indent it for me, okay? So that should be all you need for the paper. I'm going to go ahead and help you with setting up your works cited page. So you're going to go to the next page in your document, or when you get to the end of your paper, you want to start your works cited as a new page. So space all the way down or insert a page break so that the works cited is on its own page. It cannot be just at the very end of the document following the last paragraph of your paper. It must be on its own page. Very, very important. We'll lose points if not. Okay, so we're going to, first of all, we want to center our title. So we want to put that in center. And our works, the title of works cited page is simply works cited. Capital W, capital C. And I'm going to hit enter again. And then again, I want to make sure I'm going back to the left-hand margin. Now look, I'm still on a first line indent. Works cited page uses a hanging indent. So I'm going to go back over here to these three little dots, go to special indent, and select hanging indent. Okay? Now, what that means is everything you type in the first line will be over to the left-hand margin. Now, I'm just using this name because just to illustrate. As you keep typing your works cited entry, you keep going, you get to the end of the line, it's going to automatically indent the second line, and that is what it means to have a hanging indent. And when I finish that entry, I'm going to start my next entry for the next person, the next source that I have. Also remember that your sources must be entered into your works cited page in alphabetical order. Okay, so now maybe you're doing, oh, do not double space. I just did that. Okay, and then so make sure you're doing them in alphabetical order. So if you're using my phone. Now, if you just have one source, that's fine. It's just one, and you put it there, and you make sure it's done correctly, and that's all there is to that. Okay, so that is how you set up your main paper, the body of your paper, and also how you set up your works cited page. Okay, hope that helps. Thanks. Let me know if you need anything.